He is one of my all-time favorites and one of my all-time favorite friends. No, that's stupid. All-time favorite friends. Hello everybody and welcome back to my Patreon page. So today I'm really excited because I have a really fun video for you guys because we have a special guest. He is one of my all-time favorites and is one of my best friends and is an incredible force in the dance industry. I'm sure many of you already know who he is, but today I have the privilege of having the amazing Wong here in the studio with me. Some of you may know him from So You Think You Can Dance.
Alright. Whoa! Mia? You've woken up, Mia.
Yeah.
You may have saw him in The Greatest Showman. He's been a principal dancer with Miami City Ballet, was in the original Broadway cast of Newsies on Broadway, and is hilariously funny through his popular social media channels. So please welcome Wong. So today I'm really excited because I have Alex here to talk about some of his favorite stretches because, as I'm sure you've seen, his lines are ridiculous and he's actually very flexible as well. So I'm excited to have him here with his expertise to kind of show what his favorite stretches are and what he's been able to do in the past to achieve his flexibility level. Okay, so off the bat, when did you start dancing?
7.
So you started like young?
Yeah. It was like late then.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So I feel like because I started super late, for me, like boys just catch up kind of quicker anyways. Did you start with like ballet or did you start with something else?
I started with jazz and tap.
Gotcha.
And then when I was 10, I started ballet.
Cool. So have you always been extremely flexible or was that something you had to like really push towards?
No, I actually couldn't do the splits when I was younger. And then my brother was a gymnast, so I would always kind of follow along, but I couldn't really do the splits. It wasn't that I was extremely tight, but I also wasn't flexible. I could never do the splits. So I think it was around 11. When I was 11, I started stretching a lot, like every single day for like hours. And that's when I actually like really saw like a vast improvement. I think, especially when you're the younger you are, and the earlier you stretch and stuff like that, then I feel like you kind of see that improvement quickly. Now it's like I stretch the same amount just to like maintain it. Or, like,
so yeah, that's interesting. So you keep stretching, like it's not like, because a lot of people ask me as well too, is like, oh, once you stretch a lot, can you just like do a split like off the bat? Like, because I know that's not the case for me. Like I have to, like, I feel like even now older, I have to stretch even more than I did as a kid. Like, do you feel the same or?
Definitely have to stretch more. It's actually really crazy because like if you start stretching when you haven't been, the first like month or two, you actually might get stiffer.
Gotcha, yeah, that makes sense for sure. So you said like when you were 11 is when you really started focusing on it. Is that when you started getting into like ballet a lot and started really doing that, or was that not till later?
Yeah, I mean I started ballet when I was 10 just because I needed it for my jazz and tap. I wouldn't say I started getting serious into ballet until like when I was 13.
Gotcha,
14.
okay.
But I was stretching for like my other stuff, like my dance, like my jazz and stuff like that.
For sure. Do you feel like ballet helped you gain flexibility? Because like a lot of people ask like where I started like really getting flexible, and for me, I think being in ballet, I just saw all these girls with all these like really like flexible développés and things like that, and that's what pushed me to start really wanting to get flexible, as well as acrobatics and jazz and things like that. But I think ballet for me was like a huge thing. What was it that really inspired you to start like being flexible?
I wouldn't say like ballet helps you get flexible, but it's kind of like the other way around, kind of like you were saying.
Absolutely.
I think in ballet there's this idea of what could be perfect. There's this like classical perfection idea, and like you want your leg to be like up and beside your head, and the only way you can do that is to stretch and get flexible. And then like taking class every single day with ballet, like I would go in before class, where like class is like where you work on your technique and kind of like warm up and things like that, but I'd go in an hour before class to start stretching, and then through all of class I'm stretching, and then through all of rehearsals I'm stretching. So like I'm basically stretching like 10 hours a day kind of thing. Where I feel like as a student in ballet, it's not like I got flexible because of ballet, but it was like I got more flexible because I needed it for ballet.
Gotcha. So my biggest thing I feel like as being a male dancer has always been my flexibility in my lines. It's always been something that has been super, that's always really set me apart from the rest. I feel like it's the same for you too, because you have these incredible lines, these incredible feet, and you can hit all of these really flexible positions that I feel like not a lot of male dancers can. It's not as common. So do you feel like that's something that has really helped you in the industry, is being really flexible?
Well, growing up, I knew I was going to be short, I'm 5'8", so I wanted to make sure that I had explosive jumps, I had flexibility, I had excellent turns, I just wanted to make sure that I was checking all the boxes as much as I can because I knew I had height going against me. So I wanted to do as much as I could possibly do and be able to do everything like better than everyone else in every single like aspect. So that, I think that's just kind of like a byproduct of that.
Awesome. So I'm excited to have you here today because obviously you're iconic and people love you and it's super cool to have you here, but it's also really cool to have you here because with your flexibility, my Patreon page obviously revolves around my stretch-alongs and things like that. So I have a lot of followers who want to achieve our level of flexibility. So if you had to like boil it down to like 2 essential stretches that you could not live without, what would they be? I have 2 in my mind as well, so I'm curious to see what yours are.
Well, probably in the morning, I definitely start with just like a hamstring stretch, just slowly,
A reverse lunge!
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to do it with the flex foot.
Yes.
Because I feel like it kind of pulls the muscle more, and then if I'm being really kind of proactive about it, I definitely flex, so I'll contract the muscle and hold it for, let's say, 10 seconds. So I'm contracting.
So I'm
actively stretching it. And then after that, I will release that, and then kind of go a little bit deeper, and then kind of contract again. And then same thing.
Ooh, I like that. So it's very active and passive stretching.
Yeah, really active stretch. If I'm lazy, then, I'll just go into it slowly, and then
So you're not just laying over your legs, you're like actively warming up the muscles while you're stretching them.
Yeah.
Awesome. So reverse lunges are actually one of my favorite too because I feel like, because I get people asking me all the time, like, I really want to get a split. Like that's a lot of people's like, not necessarily end goal, but like one of their main goals is to be able to get a split on either leg. So for me, I feel like when I was stretching, because I didn't have splits either, for me, having that reverse lunge for that hamstring stretch was so important because a lot of people, when they slide into a normal right split, they typically tend to have this problem where it's really tight in that reverse lunge or in that hamstring stretch. So I felt like for me, doing this one with the flex foot also really helps stretch into that because obviously the hip flexor is important, but I think for the hamstring, it's so much hamstring when it comes to a split. Do you think that that is like an essential stretch for splits? Like, because I'm curious to see like if you think it's the same or
alternatively, if you don't want to be on the floor, you can also stick your foot up on the ledge like a counter or a bar or something, and kind of do the same thing, like have your leg up and then kind of leaning into it. Also actively stretching, flexed, and then kind of contracting and then kind of releasing and breathing out as you release. And you'll find that you go further every time you take that breath.
Gotcha. Okay, amazing. Cool. Alright, so that one is obviously an essential, like that reverse lunge is a good one. And I like that he says he does it in the morning because I think activating your hamstrings early is important because it affects your lower back, which affects pretty much everything, especially walking in like average daily life.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm so tight in the morning. Like in the morning, a penché is like, I'm not actually really doing stretch right now, but like I stretched a little bit. So a penché is like, if you go down kind of like standing split, right? It wasn't flat right now because I haven't fully stretched, but in the morning, it's literally like, if I go right away, it'll be like,
oh, same. Absolutely.
It's not something that I can just pop out right away at all.
And I think it's so important that he says that, guys, because I am the same way. Like, I don't just wake up and pop into a middle school. That's not how it works. So that's why I think it's so important for people to realize that it is an active practice, that stretching is an active thing. Like, we are professional dancers and we dance every day and stretch every day because it's part of our job. But even not to do with like dance and like our professional work, I feel like I still have to stretch even like on like my off days because I just need it for mobility reasons, and it's like important just to keep that practice going. So think about that when you are stretching in the mornings and things like that. It actually is so important. Okay, so obviously we've got the reverse lunge, that's an essential one. What is your second like go-to?
So since we're talking about wanting to get down into the splits, obviously you have like your front hamstring for your split, then you also have to worry about the back. So I'd say like secondly, let's say like going into a lunge and kind of stretching out your hip to kind of complement that back leg of the split, right? So going into it, you can kind of breathe and like push into it. I always find it really helpful. If you're a dancer, I actually like to kind of point my back foot, and then I also like to stretch this back so that I feel that crease.
Yeah. I feel like for dancers helps create that solid like back leg.
Yeah, that arabesque line. So also, if you have like a yoga block or like I don't know any sort of material, you can also place your back on it, and as you sink into it, you can kind of also grab this back leg here, and you can kind of push into this hip. You can also do this
We
alternatively
do that.
into while you're in a split. I also find that really opens my hip up. So
Yeah.
if I'm in a split and then I want to kind of grab this back leg and kind of, I actually really like to kind of roll around in this.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of
Active
really
moving
opens,
around, yeah.
opens my hip up for the split. So those two things, I think, like kind of like a front hamstring stretch, getting into that part of your split, and then that back part to getting that back part of your split.
Amazing. So you guys, I love this because this is just kind of validating, thank you, validating a lot of things that I've put in our stretch alongs about it's not just about that front hamstring or it's not just about the hip, it's about both. Yeah, you have to stretch. That's why all the stretch alongs are full body stretches, because you can't just stretch one thing and expect to get a split, or only stretch your hips and expect to get a middle split. You kind of have to do a full thing because they all worked together. So this is really nice here because now you guys know this is really working and this is how you're going to get those splits. Okay, because I'm sure you guys are dying to know, because Alex Wong is Alex Wong and he's amazing and fabulous and all of these things. I'm going to do a quick round of fire questions for him that he has to answer quickly, just so you guys can find out some fun facts about him. First, what's your favorite job you've ever done?
This Trident commercial I did with the dude from Short Shorts.
A Trident commercial?
Short Shorts from Reno 911.
Oh my god.
So great.
I swear to god you were going to say The Greatest Showman, but no.
I mean, that's one of them. But it's just like, the Trident commercial was
Sick of you
really
guys.
fun because it was like this improv thing. It was called Phone Keys Gum. You can actually find it on YouTube. It's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, I'm gonna drop a link in it. Look at the link below to his favorite gig he's done. A Trident commercial, y'all. Hey, to each his own. Where were you born?
Edmonton, Canada.
Ooh, she's Canadian. In 3 words, describe your experience on So You Think You Can Dance.
Hard, tiring, and rewarding.
And rewarding. There's a positive one. Okay. Yes. I'm sure most of you know Alex from So You Think You Can Dance. I watched him when I was younger, and he was like my idol when he was on So You Think. So it's kind of funny how things come full circle. Favorite color?
Silver.
Silver.
I'm gonna color.
Is that a real color? Okay, silver it is. Favorite movie?
Spirited Away.
Huh?
Yeah.
What is it?
Spirited Away.
I've never seen it.
It's a Japanese anime.
Oh, okay, culture. I'll check her out. Spirited Away. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Bangkok. Thailand.
I need to go there. Favorite dancer you've ever worked with, other than me?
Favorite dancer I've ever worked with? Oh gosh.
Tricky one, because he's worked with pretty much everyone.
I really don't know.
Or, okay, what about, okay, to make it easier, what about favorite artist, or like famous person, or celebrity that you've gotten to work
Hugh
with?
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman! I've heard
He is so nice.
I've heard he's incredibly sweet, so that's true.
Yeah, he was amazing. He's so great.
Ugh.
He's so great. Like working
We
with him
love
for
you.
like 8 months, and then I've been seeing him like the past few years on other jobs, and he's so great.
He's such a
like,
sweetheart.
He's like a huge guy. He's
And
just
so
nice.
talented. So
Yeah.
talented.
He's
He's
super nice.
literally do everything. We love you, you. Favorite style of dance? You don't have one?
No, I like to mix it, like something like in between all of them.
I feel that. I agree with that too, because I feel like I appreciate ballet because it's like the center of everything.
So hard.
But it's so hard. And so exhausting to do all the time, okay? But I also feel like jazz is really fun, but I also wouldn't want to do just like sassy heels jazz all the time. Like I love contemporary and like kind of everything. Just like the full gambit. I agree. Okay, and lastly, who was your favorite dance idol growing up?
Probably Ethan Steele from Center Stage.
God,
If you haven't seen Center Stage,
hold on, we're gonna put
watch it.
we're gonna put a little clip of that right here.
What's cool is I actually ended up working with him so much.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he was in ABT,
I was
right?
in ABT, so when I
And didn't you do like a little
yeah,
stint there?
when I was there, when I first went there, he was still there dancing, and then later on, I did a TV series called Flesh and Bone, and he choreographed and like directed a lot of the.
Oh, I didn't know he choreographed that.
Yeah, so that was.
That was also very good. Yeah, watch. It was on Stars, right?
Yeah.
Stars, Flesh and Bone,
Actually, it's on Amazon Prime, I think.
and Amazon Prime. Catch him in it. He is in it like every episode. It's really sickening. Okay, well, thank you, Alex, for being here and for spilling the tea on your favorite stretches and what has helped you in the long run. So, hopefully, my subscribers, you guys, can now take some of those things. Obviously, actually, both of those stretches that were his favorite are actually in our stretch alongs. So, we're doing the right thing, you guys. It's been Alex Wong approved, so that is a good thing. But thank you for being here and for sharing your wisdom.
Goodbye.
See you later, guys.